One of the most emotionally loaded words in modern society is hierarchy. The moment people hear it, many immediately think of oppression, domination, abuse, class systems, exploitation, or people using power to place themselves above others. That reaction is understandable. Human history gives plenty of evidence for corrupted hierarchies. But the mistake is assuming that because hierarchy can be abused, hierarchy itself is the abuse. It is not. Hierarchy is not first a political invention. It is not first a social weapon. It is not even first a human idea. Hierarchy is a structural reality. It appears wherever there is order, wherever there are different functions, wherever there are varying levels of responsibility, capacity, perspective, or consequence. In other words, hierarchy is not an evil added to reality. It is one of the ways reality organizes itself. This matters because if you misunderstand hierarchy, you will misread society. You will mistake function for oppression, leadership for control, structure for cruelty, and difference for injustice. And once that happens, you do not produce freedom. You produce confusion. You tear down forms you do not understand and then wonder why disorder spreads. The first thing that must be said clearly is this. Hierarchy does not mean that one being has more inherent worth than another. That is where people collapse the concept. They confuse difference in function with difference in value. But those are not the same thing. A heart is not better than a lung. A brain is not morally superior to a liver. A root is not more sacred than a branch. Yet, they do not perform the same role. They are not interchangeable. They exist in relation to each other within an ordered system, and that system depends on differentiated function. The moment you remove distinction, the system stops working. The moment you flatten all roles into sameness, life breaks down. This is the first principle of hierarchy. Where there is complexity, there must be arrangement. A simple structure may require little order. A complex one requires much more. The more parts involved, the more coordination is needed. The more coordination is needed, the more differentiation appears. And once differentiation appears, hierarchy emerges naturally, not as a moral insult, but as a structural necessity. You can see this everywhere. In the body, not every signal carries equal urgency. The nervous system coordinates. The heart circulates. The brain processes. The immune system detects threats. There is order, sequence, priority. In a family, not every member carries the same responsibility. A parent is not the same as a child, not because the child is less human, but because the role is different. In a ship, not everyone can navigate, repair, command, cook, and watch the horizon at the same time. In an organization, not every person sees the same level of the structure. Some make frontline decisions. Some make strategic ones. Some carry burdens that others do not even see. This is hierarchy, not oppression, function. The problem is that modern thinking often treats all hierarchy as suspicious because it sees only the human abuse of it. But abuse does not cancel design. Corruption does not erase structure. A broken hierarchy is still a distorted form of a real principle. And if you attack the principle instead of the distortion, you make correction impossible. This is where many societies begin to decay. They become unable to distinguish between hierarchy and domination. Read The Absolute Order of God, Book 1 on Amazon.